and as much as we hear about light pollution, we'll probably hear some on noise pollution. I think it's also probably important just to
and how the
talk with
speakers,
Duffy's,
and how the
let them
speakers
know.
are oriented and everything. Correct, 100%. Yeah, on that.
Just keep it in mind, because it will.
So if we can put the speakers more in rather than out.
Yeah, well, that's part of it too. You want, I don't want the person on the other side of the lake to hear it. I want the people on Duffy's patio to be able to lightly hear it, but be able to talk over it while they're having their dinner, you know? That's my intentions there.
Okay.
And we'll fine tune that. On that same note, about the driving range, I've been talking with a media company. We have an advertising budget. I'm looking to repurpose that advertising budget towards a social media campaign. I spoke with a media company. I have some quotes here for some projects, including drone flyovers, and really just building a content database that we could start to use over the course of years to promote Stony Brook on social media, with a focus on Facebook and Instagram when it comes to the golf course promoting.
Brandon's been doing pictures and putting it on Instagram.
Yep, on Instagram, yep. The total cost I have in front of me right now, when it comes to all the content I'm looking to get, as a library up front, is about $8,500. I would say that it's very worth it. We're talking about 50 video library that you can use and reuse depending on certain situations. You guys have seen the screen in the pro shop. I'm sorry, the advertising board in the pro shop. We'll be using some of that content on that screen as well as our social media things. So I am looking to get that approved and, like I said, kind of reallocate that money we were using for the Beasley Media Group and put that towards the social media campaign and building this library and putting some AdSense dollars to make sure that it actually gets out and seen at the appropriate times and stuff like that.
And you had that that was in the budget for?
Yeah, I believe there was $11,000 in that the advertising budget. I said I got about $8,500 for the content up front, and then kind of drip feeding that out over AdSense over the next course of the year with the remainder of the budget.
I thought the Beasley stuff came out of the budget.
Yeah, so I'm saying I kind of want to repurpose it. I think the advertising money is still in the budget. I didn't remove that. It's just not allocated as Beasley now or the radio show. I think it's just in there as advertising.
Okay. If it's still in there, I have no problem.
It is, yeah.
Okay. I think it's great. I think, it'll reach a lot more people.
And then they have told us they can break this down into some monthly installments. They can make all the content up front, $3,500 in 1 month, another month $2,500, another month another couple hundred, a couple thousand. So that is something I think would be just a tremendous benefit. And again, we'll be highlighting specifically areas that I feel we could really grow in. That's our junior golf, that's our driving range, and obviously showing off the golf course, but also showing off the community. I know we are interested in keeping the community full, and we have a fantastic community, so that's some of that stuff we'd be including in there.
And the partnership with Duffy's.
That partnership with Duffy's.
Question just went up in head.
Well, I got it. So where I'm looking here, I see 12,100, correct?
Yeah, that sounds
Chuck, do you have the 24, 25 budget? I'm just curious, so we have a number. What's the 24,
What does this
25
include?
budget number for advertising under pro shop expenses?
I mean, if you're talking about cuts.
No, I just thought you had a budget.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can,
They haven't put it in here yet.
okay.
I pull it out so much bigger.
I don't think it's roughly that number.
Yeah.
12,100 top line on page 16.
Yeah, no, I'm
We're
talking
next year's budget.
next year's budget.
Gotcha.
Is it the same?
Yeah, I just left to say the advertising. I just left to say.
Okay, so it's
Okay.
12,100.
Yeah.
I just so we had the number.
The number.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Well, I'd like to make a motion, that was my question. When they're doing this, can we also, with the website, the golf course website, we did have
It
some
will.
flyovers before.
So
but we
that's
never-
part of this too. A
That
lot
is
of this
part of it.
content I'm planning on using for the website. I mean, this is
Okay.
those numbers I'm saying. This is 50 fully edited 50 videos, up to 50 videos fully edited, ready to be posted, reused on the website, like I said, on our screen in the pro shop, and then on our social media, for a while. When you're talking about content creation, this is something I do have a bit of a specialty in as well, with my own thing. You do want a library. You don't want a couple of videos. You need to be able to reuse this kind of content, and you want it to be good, high quality, high production, especially the business we are. So these guys were fantastic. You might have seen some of their content from other golf courses as well. Imperial uses them. They have a really great way of showcasing the course, and I think it's just a tremendous use of the money.
Okay, well then I'll make a motion to go ahead and pursue this part of advertising for the social media.
And this is with Mills Media Group.
Mills Media Group.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, so I have a whole lot, so I'm going to keep moving forward here. Looking at the tent that we have out there. In the last meeting, I told you we have things scheduled for that. Once we get out of the rainy season here, I'm going to make a phone call probably in the next week, see if it's scheduled to have that tent installed mid-October.
So they'll have it cleaned before?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll have it cleaned, have it reinstalled. We're in a bit of a tight cash position at the moment. A lot of that will be cleaned up in October when we deposit the FGCU check, stuff like that. We have a bunch of events in October. That's when I'm going to go ahead and order all of the stuff that we've approved through Phil Simonson with all the furniture for the tent.
Okay.
I'll do this when we have the tent in, when my cash position's a little better. And then we'll go ahead and get all this stuff ordered. We'll probably put something out, probably through the community letter. If anybody wants some of this furniture, we'll sell it to them extremely cheap, just to recuperate some of the money of what we have. We do still have a lot of good chairs and tables and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then we'll just figure something out to do with
Once
the
we
rest of
figure a
it.
price, I can have an email blast out,
Okay.
and then I can put it in the newspaper.
Because there is a lot. There's a lot of it. Yeah, it takes up a significant portion of the cart barn.
Yes, okay. Excuse me one second. Chuck, the 13.5 that we're getting from the county, that goes to who? The common grounds?
General fund.
General fund, okay.
Also, Kyle, on your cash position, I saw that email from Lucy. I meant to circle back around with you. You have about $365,000 in investment.
Yeah.
All you got to do is ask her to move a portion of that if you get some bills you need to get paid.
Yeah.
She's just trying to get cash in the operating account. You got $365 sitting in Bank United that you can move up to 5 times a month if you need to move some money.
Yeah, she did express some concern to me, and then me and John got together over some of the APs. There are some things we don't need to get paid. There's some payment plans that are in. They send us these invoices. We don't have to
We
pay it all
dropped like
up
50
front.
grand off or
I
something.
just want to make
Yeah,
aware of that, okay?
yeah, but we're paying attention to it now. I know it's going to be brought up again. We got some of the financial stuff. Like I know my labor was out in August and stuff too. So we are monitoring, we're paying attention to it, and we're planning around some of that as well. Like I said, in October we do plan on making some good deposits to make all these things we need happen. And and anything that I am spending on the driving range, I am trying to make sure I've seen the range at least make that much money before I even ask about it. So.
Okay.
Continuing to move forward, we just opened an account with Callaway. We got approved for credit line with them. We're going to be switching over our rental sets to Callaway. We'll be bringing in Callaway golf balls as well. So you'll start seeing some Callaway products in the pro shop.
How many sets are we getting?
We're getting 8 men's sets and I believe
4 or 6?
I have it right here. It's just not like put together very well. I believe 4 ladies and 8 men's for a total of 12,
Okay, and currently we have, what, 20?
like 22.
22, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah,
And we
and-
can store those all in the...
Yeah, and we've talked with the golf guys down there in Bonita, and they have a great rental system as we need anymore. And anytime people do rent like a lot of sets at a time, they do call us in advance. We'll be able to go to golf guys, rent some, and they said they'll give it to us for whatever we need to sell and make a little bit of profit too.
got a big sign out there hanging up.
Yeah.
Inside, rental club.
Yeah, they're really great to work with. So we're gonna get what we need in stock for the rental sets. We've done the analysis before, and thank you to Adam for helping me with that. So we're getting what we need on that, and then like I said, bringing in some Callaway golf balls. One I'm happy to be bringing in is the Callaway Super Soft. It's just a tremendous golf ball for the price a lot of people ask for.
It's going to help my game.
It's gonna help a lot of people's game.
So,
I'm quoting you on that, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Briefly, how do you make a decision on that? Like, how do you decide, okay, we're going with Titleist, Cobra, Callaway?
So a lot of them have different programs.
I've been on this board a long time. I don't ever remember discussing this.
So a lot of them have different.
Why it was originally set up, has it changed in the last 15 years?
Yeah, so prior you had you had 22 sets from TaylorMade.
Okay.
I have no clue why you had that many. There's no reason to ever have had that many. And they all have different programs in place. Some of them include golf balls. This one with Callaway is a great thing. They have a whole new package they put together. They repurpose 2 years prior to those lines. So in this case, we're going to be getting the Callaway Mavericks. They repurpose them for their rental sets. They basically sell them for like half the price to us. They include golf balls with these little pouches that they send us that we inventory out with it. So as we need them, they send more in. So like every company has their own little program they do. But I thought this was by far the best one. It included balls that we don't have to really like buy. It's just kind of built into the whole thing. TaylorMade didn't have that. Titleist does have a rental program, but I would say it was so much more higher end. They only have their newest line. They put the newest bag with it. You have to have like so many balls in your pro shop too. They'll give you certain discounts for what kind of stock of their brand you carry.
You've researched all of these.
Yeah, we've done a lot of research into this, and Callaway's really was just great. The other one that was really good was Cobra, but we just felt Callaway just has such a name brand presence that people see that in the pro shop. Wow, you got Callaway's in here as a rental sets. Like they might not use their clubs that day to rent ours, and that's just the kind of power I feel like Callaway has as well.
And the golf balls are going to help your game.
Yeah, and they include golf balls. It's a great little pouch. People will like that as well. It's a good price. At the rate we have, the last rental sets you guys had, it took 2 years to make any money on. We anticipate making money on these in the first year, but keeping them for 2 years. So that second year, you're just dipping into profit as opposed to having to hold them for 3 years, have a really beat up set until you make any money on them.
Hey, Kyle.
So it's about every 2 years you replace the club.
That's what we're looking to do.
Because honestly, I don't ever remember discussing it.
Yeah, that's what we're looking to do.
Sure, maybe it's
Yeah, we
happening.
just said we were renting them.
They do not.
and we never.
Yeah, and they look like they're ready to be redone.
Yeah.
Kyle, when I look at the balance sheet, you've got, according to this, $25,000, 770 cents worth of golf balls. In my head, that's a lot of golf balls. And then that's on page 10 of the financials. And then when I look at Pro Shop, let me see, balls, year to date, we've sold $46,475 worth of balls. So it's almost like you have, according to this, like 6 months worth of balls. So
Yeah, and most of those come from Shrixon too. In the years past, the Pro Prior has always just gotten a great deal on a 2-pallet ball from Shrixon. You see that big stack of balls in that soft field.
Yeah, the green box.
It's that green box one. And honestly, after visiting myself, it is a good deal. We get them for such a great price. We get such a good margin on them, whether we sell them for the single or the dozen. I don't like how much space it takes up, but it just seems to be something that's worked in the past that I wasn't trying to change. Yeah, they sell so well.
yeah, just look at those numbers. I'm like,
Yeah,
why are we
it
buying
is.
more golf
So I
balls?
said the same thing looking at it, and I talked with my assistant pro, and he's like, dude, we sell those balls. Like, and what we get out of it too from that deal, it is really great. So I don't plan on
Fair
changing it. And public golf course, man, we just sell, that's our bread and butter, right? Golf balls and golf clubs. That's what we do at a public golf course on a daily. Okay, so yeah, rental sets are looking good. Yeah, again, I'm sorry, I got so much here. Something else that was brought up at the last meeting that I was tasked to investigate was junior golf and how other golf courses go about business with junior golf, specifically high school. So I contacted San Carlos Golf Club, Tiburon Golf Club, Cypress Lake Country Club, and then I just spoke to a couple of my professional friends that work at Spring Run Golf Club, Old Hickory, and Fiddlesticks, and I kind of got the same answer. When it comes to high school golf, junior golf, golfers under 18 years old, these golf courses really do donate it. Anytime they're dealing with colleges, that's different. You know, they're charging them cart fees and stuff like that. San Carlos golf course in particular, every single Monday, they donate their golf course to junior golf tournament, every single Monday. Tiburon said the same thing. A couple of their staff members do coach for those golf courses. That was the caveat they gave me, was their coaching. They do take care of all their high school stuff as well. Cypress Lake Country Club hosts a couple different golf courses. They completely take care of all of their practices, including range balls and golf course play. I'm not saying that's what we have to do. I'm just telling you what I found. And I'll remind you that we did charge cart fees for those high school golf tournaments. So I just wanted to bring that report to you guys.
Well, I think junior golf is an asset, you know. I think it's brought more people in. I personally think we need to continue it. I think it's been a great, I mean, we now have a third junior golfer. And
Thank you for reminding me.
Drive, chip, and putt.
Yeah, we just had another kid that practices here at Stony Brook Golf Club qualify for the Augusta National Drive, Chip, and Putt. So this year, when you're watching on April 4th, I believe, you're going to see Stony Brook Golf Club on that leaderboard twice as a kid's home golf course.
Yeah.
That is national exposure that you just, again, you can't put a dollar value to.
Right.
But I did get a picture too. We are working on a little Junior Golf Hall of Fame. I sent you that picture. The young man's name is Jesus. Just another brilliant young man that we're so proud to be hosting, to be honest.
And I'd like information on him because I'd like to put that in the next newsletter so the
100%.
residents know that junior golf is beneficial to the golf course and the community as a whole.
And maybe when he goes up there, if like we deck him out in all Stony Brook stuff, we give him some free rounds of golf. You know what I mean? Hey, you want to wear?
But make sure. Well, I'll tell you what.
Set him up with some tricks
I
and
did
balls.
take a portrait picture of him, and I did give him one of our Stony Brook Junior golf hats. So hopefully he
Okay,
does.
so
They're all
but I like
minor.
John's idea. Let's take some.
And amateur status things that we got to work around.
Yeah, let's take some of our Stony Brook Turgis Tumble.
Towels, have them hold a drink, hat, everything.
Yeah, the whole bit.
Give him a bag, we'll get him a custom Stony Brook bag.
You know, this is a little out of order. I didn't mean to bring this up. Moving on, I didn't mean to bring this up with the driving range thing. The other thing I was tasked with was some of the reporting on what those instructors are using. Andy Scott, Chase Manell are our two current instructors that I proposed the contracts to. It's the only two people that are interested at the moment. Andy Scott used 13 buckets of balls in August and 15 so far in September. Chase Marinelli used 20 in August, 13 in September. Again, I'm assigning about a $5 labor cost per bucket. That's probably a pretty high estimate, to be honest, too. But I just wanted to give you guys those numbers, and I'll continue to report those to you because I know we're interested in making sure we're getting the most out of that deal for both parties.
What about the other, wasn't Kathy?
So Kathy's not going to be interested. You know, I told her what the price is going to be. She said she can't afford it, which didn't make sense to me. It's like, girl, you got to just charge a couple more bucks for your lessons, though.
Yeah.
All the time.
Because they're a pretty good deal.
So
But
where
yeah,
else could you go and get free balls?
she just won't be teaching, man.
Right.
That's what she said too. She kind of just said she did it for fun, anyways. You know, I did.
Not in a price
I
decision.
did tell her though, I'm happy to have her as an instructor for our junior golf program. You know, Tyler Renaud's the lead on that. You know, we got a couple volunteers. We're always looking for more help. That program, like I've said before, we plan on making it bigger and better. So we will be having some, contractors through the junior golf program that will be helping with that. I think I've even got Adam's son's going to be volunteering for some hours and stuff like that. So any community members like that, if you guys have any kids out there that need volunteer hours for school or anything like that, we do have a junior golf program we're looking to continue to build, and we always do need great help with these kids.
And you know what's interesting? There are a lot of high school kids that have to fill a certain amount of community service.
Yep, and we can sign off for those hours for you.
Yeah.
Again, I just no younger than 16. We do need at least a 16-year-old. You got to be able to keep other kids in line. So,
Drive a car.
yeah, maybe drive a cart, have a license and stuff like that.
There's
so.
an idea. Okay.
Chrissy, she's helping out.
Yep. Chrissy, our snack shop girl, helps out with our junior program all the time.
Cool.
Boy. Sorry, I'm just making sure I'm going through everything. Another really big one, it was kind of touched on earlier. We met with the course architect we're working with for the redesign in 2026. We met with him this past Friday, and we will continue to have meetings every other Friday until the time comes. There were some interesting things that were said. A couple things I just want to bring to the board, just some of the figures that were thrown around. We were talking about a whole new irrigation system, redoing a lot of the greens, reworking a lot of cart paths, and some of the numbers I heard were as little as like 6 million, as much as 9 million. And the time frame I was hearing was still 2026. So I just wanted to put that figure out there as I come into my next discussion. As promised, I have a report for you guys about all the groups that have signed up and played in the past in season. And I have a list here of all those groups. Out of the 15 groups that have played here in the past, 2 groups have said they will not play in season at the new rate. They both come from the same community. That's Corkscrew Shores men's and ladies organizations.
When did they play?
The men played
The ladies had an afternoon 9-hole thing, and the men had I believe it was a Thursday morning 18-hole.
But the afternoon rate, okay.
So again, out of the 15, 2 have said no, they will not play at the new rate. We have 6 groups that have committed to playing golf throughout the season at the new rate. Those 6 groups are the Serrano Group, the Island Walk Group, the Marie Ballard Group, the Fazil Group, the Dow Group, and the American Singles Golf Association Group. I've had 2 groups express interest in playing in season, but they have to discuss it with their boards. This is the Ken Huff Group and the Rapallo Group. I do believe Mr. Ken Huff is...
Yes.
He did tell me he was on board.
Yes, he's on board.
Yeah, I just didn't have it on this report, sorry.
Yeah.
So that actually makes 7 of the groups have committed to playing golf at the new rate. 2 of them have said they're kind of on the fence about it. And I have 5 groups that have not responded. Those 5 groups would be the Village Walk Group, that's a pretty big one. Don Masters Group, that's one of our resident groups that plays, I believe, Sunday mornings. The Mirasol Group, I did not write down the days they play. And then the Dick Bazier Group, that's a group I've been servicing in the community for, well, I'm getting old, almost 10 years now. So I go back with that guy a long time. He just hasn't responded. So that was the report as far as the groups that have signed up at that group rate. I understand there's a lot of discussion. Most of the discussion about everything moving forward is kind of focusing on that group rate. I know at the last meeting we kind of nailed down the new resident thing. You have that $85.
But now, if a resident, for all the residents...
That play in a group, they get the resident rate.
They get the resident rate.
Correct.
So Don Masters, most of his group is
They're all residents, yeah. So
Okay,
they
all
probably
right.
won't have any issues. They'll probably be signed up.
Okay.
So I just wanted to, fill you guys in on all those groups, where they're standing. I know a lot of the discussion moving forward is going to be around that. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knew what some of those figures they were talking about when it comes to the redesign were, and where a lot of the groups actually are with that new rate. I have had multiple people come in my office, my employees, cart staff guys, board members, group leaders, come in, express concern about that new rate. And before we get too far into it, I'll put my 2 cents down there. All I'm advising is we stay patient. It is still September. And we are fortunate to be one of the only the nicest public golf course in the area, and we can react. And it is not hard to drop the rate, but as we're finding out, it is very hard to raise it. So that's what I advise. I'm obviously happy to entertain any discussions and continue, but I believe that's what my role is here, is to advise on these things. I'm certainly not going to tell you guys what to charge. Your golf course is in incredible shape right now, though. And that is it for my report.
Kyle and I have had a bunch of discussions, not just one or two, but being on the board, on the committee on Wednesday, and also now being on the CD board, I've had probably 20 texts, emails, responses about the price of golf. First of all, the increases in the last 2 years have been 52%. It was 30% this year, plus the year before, so it's 52% increase in 2 years. There's many people that play Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, the 2 leagues, Monday, Wednesday, Friday with the Huff group and the Hornet group. Many people play 3 times a week. They're going to cut to 2 times a week. They can't afford it. You're talking $145 on Wednesday. You charge $10 for the game. It's $155. You charge tax. That's $160 something. You stop for a beer or a hot dog, or you go to Duffy's, and you're talking $180 maybe you're going to spend that day, times 3. So a lot of guys are cutting to 2. A lot of guys just said they're not going to play. Of course, with our Wednesday group, we had 12 people we eliminated from our group. We still have a waiting list of 30-something, so we're going to cut it off at 100. We never get 100 players when we get in the 60s. One thing about the league, my thing is I always said volume satisfies all evils. We can discuss that, to bring it up with Kyle. But, if you have 250 people golf for 150 people, it doesn't affect John's crew at all, because they still got to cut the grass and do everything else, so it doesn't make any difference. You cut down 100 people, I'm exaggerating, okay, you cut down a few people per day, they might buy balls, they might buy gloves, they might buy hats, they might buy beer, they might buy a hot dog, they might go to Duffy's. All that's got to come into consideration. Now, the other part of that, I'm on the golf committee, and we're talking about spending all this money, so I understand both things, but I just think the increases are quite heavy, especially with the Corkscrew Shores group. Now, that's a different story, but I talked to the guys that play on Thursday, and they said this is a better course than San Carlos. They get a better tee time than they do at San Carlos. They can't start till 11, but for $55, they said they're not doing it, because they're charging $90. So for $55, they're not coming back. And the only thing I worry about is, just because it's the money part, they say, because this last 3 or 4 years, we had nothing but great things said about Stony Brook Golf Club. I mean, the rounds have been good, the course has been good, the people are thrilled about it. I'm not going to say that, a lot of people have a negative tone, and all of a sudden they become negative towards the golf course. But that's just me, and I've been in business all my life, supermarket business, but again, a retail type thing, and I always said volume satisfies all evil. But that's my feeling, and that's, I just throw it out there, that's all.
Yeah, and like I said, my card staff had seconded that exact sentiment to me as well. So I just want to make sure you guys know that as well. My card staff has expressed that exact same concern about volume, and so I just want to let you guys know that.
And Kyle's been great. We've had great discussions, no arguments, no nothing. Just had great discussions 2 or 3 times.
So let me ask a question, Kyle. Are you willing to adjust this for the leagues and the groups at this point, or do we want to see where it goes? I know this was, you and Adam talked about the pricing.
So with what I just reported to you guys, again, out of the 15 groups, you have now what I thought was 6, it's actually 8. You already have more than half of your groups committed to the new rate.
Okay.
But again, one little caveat. One of the groups said
They might not have as many players.
might not have as many players because they're not going to afford it. Exactly. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yep. And might not play at the same frequency. That's another
Right,
important.
that's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
Right.
But, because, man, if I may say something.
Yes, please.
That's part of his job to get in more groups. You know, I'll say it like this, I think he's doing a great job, I understand the money part of it, but this is he can fall flat on his face, right? Let him do it, and you can make these adjustments down the road, like he said, see what it does. And if by a third of the way we're not making the money, hey, pull back, right? But part of his job is to if a group leaves, go get another group, find another group, call another, hey, start another league, hey, or whatever it may be. That's on him, right? That's part of his job description. We talked about this, we have almost a $2 million maintenance budget,
Yeah.
you know? That money's got to come from somewhere.
See,
And, you know-
my feeling though too, John, this is what I always thought, if I have a customer that's gonna leave me, I'll do anything to keep that customer, because it's a lot easier to keep the customer you have than trying to get somebody else to come in.
Sure.
100%.
Sure. But I think it's a balancing act too of both, right? You gotta, some people are just gonna leave because they don't like the taste of that more money. But maybe they leave and they realize they can't go anywhere else, and then they come waddling back. We kind of seen that with the groups that left before, right? When San Carlos, and then where they at now, they're back.
And that's again why that last piece that left was all I advise is we just exercise some patience.
Yeah, I think that's.
Again, we are so fortunate to be able to react, just like as we did here at the beginning of September, guys. Like I mentioned in the thing there, you know, when we opened up after this last verification, I walked in that day and I had 6 residents on my tee sheet.
Yeah,
And there's
Tuesday,
no
we
way
had 38
I am
people for the whole day.
gonna do
38
that.
people playing for the whole day.
So,
And
you
the
know,
next day-
we called Golf Now,
Yeah.
we dropped that price, and I filled that tee sheet the next day. I am not afraid to do what was gotta get done to make sure that that thing gets filled. Like John just said, that is my job as a golf professional, is to be monitoring and getting the most out of that tee sheet.
Right.
See, that time there, when it was, we were at $95.
Yeah.
Whole course crew was at $88.
100%.
Okay. And you'll monitor it and do
Yeah,
it.
and we will react as needed.
Right, and I think we need to do that. And again, you can't go across the street to Publix and tell them that you don't want to pay that much for your coffee creamer because it was less 2 years ago. Prices have gone up, and, you know, we need to understand that the golf course looks the way it looks because we've used the money wisely. And, you know, like I said to somebody several years ago when the rates went up, I said, sure, I can drop it to $25 a round. And they said, really? I said, yeah, and we'll be shut down by August. You know, I said, you know, we need to, I mean, yes, prices have gone up and it's horrible. I hate the fact that everything's gone up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like to pay what I'm paying for things. But Kyle, you need to monitor this on a daily basis, and if you're finding, I mean, check with the leagues, find out from Ron and say, you know, I now only have 80 guys that are going to play every other week, so now we're down to 40. So do we lower the price? The Women's League, I'm only going to have this many be, you know, and just see how they're doing, and we'll adjust it accordingly.
Yeah,
So
100%. And
Like I said, the people, the pockets, we just read in the paper, private label is taking over for national brands, you know, it's just supermarkets. I mean, people are going to Aldi's, Aldi's is 90% private label, so if you don't want to, you know, if you go to Publix for BOGOs, you're shopping at Walmart or you're going to Aldi's. Walmart's got the cheapest price of anybody.
yeah.
yeah, so, I mean,
But every time I go to seat the table, the parking lot is heaving, you know, so
That's
there's...
Naples, that's Naples.
No, I drive there, and a lot of people drive
Oh,
there, you know, so
my
like,
daughter and son-in-law go there probably once every 2 weeks.
there's, you know, there
You
is
go down to Capitol Grill on Fifth Avenue, the place is packed.
a limited number of golf courses. We haven't raised rates in nearly 10 years, right?
We've gone up 52% in the last 2 years.
Yeah, these are the first ones, but we...
Prior to that, we were pretty flat for-
We were flat.
Yeah, very
We were flat for like 8 years.
Right.
So like, we looked at the rate of inflation, and the groups and leagues are the contested ones. They're still getting a 30% discount. More importantly, they're getting the best tee times out there and available. And if price is an issue, PM and twilight rates are available for those people that don't want to pay those rates.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, maybe you make a concession, or if you want a lower rate, then you're gonna have to take a different time,
Yeah,
right?
let's-
Give me
let's
those
make
prime
it
times for the
early
single, the
afternoon.
walk-ins. and-
Yeah, if you want to play Twilight in season, it's $75. That's pretty affordable, but not
it's
many
like-
people want to do
I
that.
guess I'm only expressing my opinion because
Yeah, no, I
as
know,
this
I
thing
know.
goes, because I just feel it's just the success that's happened in the last 3 or 4 or 5 years in this course has been amazing. And I hate to see it go down just because of price.
Well, I don't think it's going to go down for just this course. I mean, I think we're looking at an economic
I agree with that.
situation
I do agree with that.
we are, knock on wood, maybe peaking. We've seen this before.
So this is-
Before on this board with this, I remember when we went to $100. It was, God, you thought the
my
place was
God.
going to burn down.
On that note.
That was 15 years ago, but then we got there and we had to dip there when the market crashed, and then we kind of came up and we kind of, as to Adam's point, we've kind of been
Yeah.
flat for a long time. We certainly, just like any other business, have expenses that are going through the roof. We, I think, have benefited from the fact that we've also seen huge growth in this area in the last 5 years. So if Fred used to play 3 times a week, now he only plays 1 or 2. Bill, Susie, and William, maybe they're playing now because they just moved into the area, so we replaced that. You hate to quote unquote lose the customer, but you're also getting more. And it's to the detriment of ourselves. I mean, as Eileen said, I don't want to pay either. But at the same time, I mean, personally, I've had to go, you know what? I mean, I haven't swung a club in a while, and I've had other things going on, but also in the back of my mind a little bit, it's like, hey, I'm not spending as much on golf anymore.
Well, even with the PGA Pass this year, in the last 2 years, I mean, except for maybe Bobby giving us but I mean, otherwise, we're paying in the 60s most places.
Yeah, I didn't even buy the PGA. This first summer, I did not buy the PGA Pass. Now, I had other things going on, but when it was on sale and I didn't have other things going on, I looked down, I was like, well, this isn't really that. I'll just stay here and play Stone. I'm not going to, it used to be a deal that the deals are gone, or at least for right now. This could be temporary.
But again,
A year or two down the road, we might be begging for customers.
Yeah.
Right.
And not just us, it might be the whole
Across the
industry.
board.
Yeah, I don't know, where I grew up, and I've said this before, and I don't want to sound like I'm a bumpkin, but, golf was kind of a luxury.
Yeah, well,
In my hometown, the rich guys played golf. And I did not grow up as a rich
that's
kid.
in my town as well.
So,
Chris.
we, as a society, we've had a situation where golf suddenly it became more
thing to
widespread.
do.
People before it became more affordable. People did it. We're hitting a peak, and again, it's not just golf. We're hitting a peak, and people are making decisions on how they can and want to spend their money.
Chris, I always compared hockey to golf. Big expense, basketball,